Today is Liberation Day in the United States of America. April 2nd, 2025 will be remembered in history forever as President Donald J. Trump lets all the other countries know your days of getting over on America are over. Every country in the world puts a tariff on Americans' products when they're imported. The United States of America wasn't doing that because Democrats were allowing other countries to import their goods without tariffs. Well, those days are over. President Trump announced he will now be putting tariffs on every single country that imports goods to the United States of America, and this will only do great things for the country. It will bring back manufacturing jobs. It will make America dependent on Americans and American workers and the American infrastructure and make America a stronger, greater country. Let's listen to what President Donald Trump had to say.
Pushing ahead with his America First agenda.
Breaking news, Apple announced it's going to work with Foxconn to build a server factory in Texas by 2026.
The company says it is now planning to invest $500 billion in the U.S. economy.
The CEO of SoftBank pledging to invest $100 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years.
This is President Trump delivering on the promise he made to the American people on the campaign trail.
The idea is come to America, build greatness in America, build for the American customers.
Project Stargate.
It's a joint venture between SoftBank, Oracle, and OpenAI, and they're going to create a data center that will eventually be expanded to other states.
Shows people are listening to Mr. Trump's pitch to bring new industry to America.
This is the latest pledge from a foreign business leader promising to spend big in the U.S. as a result of Trump's election victory.
Founder of the property development company DeMac Properties is pledging the money.
President Trump announcing $100 billion investment from Taiwan Semiconductor, bringing the company's total American investments to $165 billion.
The most powerful AI chips in the world will be made right here in America.
Things happen so quickly in the Trump world, right? It's 100 days. Right. It feels like it's 100 months. This is leadership. This is taking control of the problem for military, for everything, for industrial, for our economy. Even if it causes short-term pain, the reality is it is the right decision.
NVIDIA says it will invest hundreds of billions of dollars over the next 4 years, part of the manufacturing renaissance under President Donald J. Trump.
Furniture maker Prepack are shifting their operations from Canada to North Carolina.
Johnson & Johnson says it will invest more than $55 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years.
Hyundai announced a $20 billion investment.
With your leadership, Mr. President, Hyundai Motor Group is proud to be a stronger partner in America's industrial future.
This is the automobile industry, and now those plants largely have stopped and they're moving them to our country. Honda is building one of the biggest plants.
The trade story is certainly picking up speed here and pushing more countries to make these bigger investments.
It's another example of the Trump effect.
GE Aerospace announcing a nearly $1 billion investment into American manufacturing.
Eli Lilly announcing plans to expand its manufacturing here in the United States.
$27 billion additional spend, bringing our total to more than $50 billion.
The money's rolling in, and this is in the past 60 some odd days, Charles.
And these are deep-pocketed folks who want to have a relationship, and it's just smart moves.
We are CMA CGM, one of the leaders in shipping and logistics around the world. Today, we are investing $20 billion.
Foreign leaders from around the world, investors from Silicon Valley to Wall Street to Main Street have confidence again in our economy and our markets and in President Trump. The Trump effect this morning, a string of massive wins for American manufacturing. The numbers speak for themselves. Wisconsin-based Clarios is putting up $6 billion to expand its American operation. And what's driving these decisions? Well, President Trump's aggressive Made in America policies and his commitment to bringing industry back to American soil. This is exactly what Trump promised. America First is back.
This is the Trump effect. This is the greatness of Donald J. Trump, the greatest American to ever live, the Don, the winner. That's all President Trump does is win. And all the leaders of all the other countries around the world, they know this. And they're willing to give billions and trillions of dollars to be part of the United States economy now because of Donald Trump. Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they couldn't run a hot dog stand. Nothing. They would run out of sand in the desert. They're so incompetent. This is what leadership looks like. This is a great day for America, an awesome day. Donald Trump delivering on his campaign promises to the American citizens. Finally, a politician that keeps his word to the people of the United States of America and puts Americans first. He is the greatest American to ever live. President Trump wants Congress to pass a bill and laws criminalizing sex changes for children and minors. He tells the children of America, God made you perfect the way you are, and that's right, he did. The fact that President Trump even has to make this a law in a bill tells you how insane that Democrats are, how vile and disgusting of a group that they truly are, mutilating children for their own personal gain, for votes, and all the other garbage that they stand for.
Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
You got that, pedos, groomers, wackos, and Democrats and liberals? You are absolutely disgusting. Could you imagine what your great-great-grandfather would say if he found out that they were mutilating, that Democrats were mutilating children, cutting their penises off, telling them that they could become women, telling young women they could become men, giving them surgeries? Could you imagine telling this to your forefathers, what was going on in this country? Absolutely disgusting. This is why, if you're a man, regardless of race, religion, whatever, and you're a Democrat, you need to have your head examined. Maybe you support pedophilia, because this is absolutely disgusting. The fact that this garbage is even in our government or school system tells you that America, the world, everything is in the toilet. Democrats, you need to leave children alone. Leave other people's kids alone. Take your psychotic, demented, vile, disgusting ideology and keep it to yourself. Mayor Eric Adams' charges were dropped today, and the only reason why Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the Biden administration, Christopher Wray, the corrupt FBI, brought charges against Mayor Eric Adams was because he was strong enough, courageous enough to speak out against illegal immigration and tell New Yorkers in the world that illegal immigration is destroying New York City. See, Democrats, they love black people, but they only love black people when black people are doing what Democrats want. And when black people don't do what Democrats want, what happens? They either try to replace them with illegals so the illegals can take away the strength of black people's vote, or they'll bring you up on charges. Donald Trump would never in a million years do something like that to black Americans. Let's let Mayor Adams tell you himself.
Those who are here committing crimes, robberies, shooting at police officers, raping innocent people, have been a harm to our country. I want to sit down and hear the plan on how we're going to address them. Those are the people I am talking about, and I would love to sit down with the Board of Czar and hear his thoughts on how we're going to address those who are harming our citizens. You're open to that.
You know what? Only Democrats, though. The Board of Czar's whole plan was to have every state in America to have more illegals in every single state than American citizens. That's what Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Alejandro Mayorkas wanted, because they wanted to disenfranchise Americans and their vote and create a communist state that the American citizens, voters, and taxpayers could never escape from. That's the only reason why Mayor Eric Adams was brought up on charges, because he had the courage to speak up about it. Alec Baldwin, the murderer, declares that America is in pre-Civil War culture. Let's listen to this liberal lunatic state his nonsense. He should be in prison for murder where he belongs. But of course, Joe Biden and the corrupt DOJ let the murderer off the charges.
They led my hand to pick up the remote and turn on my television. Sorry. And watch Ken Burns' famous miniseries. And boy, you can see now that we are in a pre-Civil War culture now. When they describe things back then politically, there are profound differences, of course, in terms of just history and age and, you know, what life was like back then, and cotton and slavery and Lincoln and Robert E. Lee and so forth. There's just so many, this incredible story. Awful that this country had to go through that. Awful. But as a story, it's just overwhelmingly powerful and fascinating.
Here you have Alec Baldwin. He's been a drunk for his whole life. Now he's a murderer. Comparing Donald Trump and Elon Musk to slave owners and picking cotton before the Civil War. This is what liberal lunatics do. They just make it up as they go along. As this murderer sits on his couch, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, drunk as can be, and has no clue what he's talking about. The only place that Alec Baldwin belongs is in prison. But of course, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the corrupt DOJ, let him off the charges because he's a Democrat and he loves to spin Democratic talking points. So, of course, Joe Biden and the corrupt DOJ with Christopher Wray, Merrick Garland, let this drunk murderer walk. Let's listen to Sunny Houston, one of the most vile, racist pieces of communist garbage on television. Listen to her excuse why Democrats don't want voter ID. The only reason why Democrats don't want voter ID is because they plan to cheat in every single election. Let's jump into what she had to say.
Don't want voter ID is because they make it much more difficult for elderly people that don't travel, don't have a passport, poor people that don't have cars, don't have driver's licenses. So it's sort of a vestige of, I think, post-slavery laws where Black people had to prove their right to vote, and oftentimes they couldn't vote because they couldn't pass some crazy test.
So Sunny Houston thinks so lowly of Black people that Black people don't have the ability to get licenses. Somehow that's just too hard for Black people to get a license. This is what she really thinks of you. And I don't know why any Black person would support her whatsoever. She's absolutely disgusting.
Or they didn't have the appropriate ID. It also affects women that are married. Maybe your passport reflects something that's different on your birth certificate or on your driver's license. So really the bottom line is voter suppression. And I agree with him 100%. It's a brilliant notion that less voter ID laws allows more people to vote. And most democracies do it that way. We're the only ones that really don't do it that way.
Right. I mean, I think it's been...
No, it allows more illegal people to vote because that's the only way that Democrats could win. She is one of the most disgusting human beings on the face of the planet. She absolutely makes me sick. I can't stand her. This woman has been all over social media for some reason, if you want to even call her that. I don't know what's going on here, but this is what the typical liberal woman in America looks like these days. All she's missing is the green hair and piercings, but they might be somewhere or show up sooner than later.
Oh, they don't want me talking, do they? They don't want me talking about that bullshit, do they? Because I call bullshit, 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 bullshit. You should be embarrassed. You are, ain't you? So you got my live access taken away. Dumbasses. Rawr, rawr. Hey.
I don't know what this is. One of these she's, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to stick to my original statement. This is what the typical liberal woman looks like in 2025 in America. Liberal women, keep up the great work. You wonder why nobody wants to marry you or have babies anymore, and this is the exact reason. It's being reported that Val Kilmer died. He was 65 years old, the legendary actor. This is one of my favorite scenes from the movie Heat, where he has the shootout with the police. You get the point. Probably the biggest role that he'll always be known for is his role in Top Gun as Iceman.
You are still dangerous. You can be my wingman anytime. Bullshit. You can be mine.
A black woman goes on TV and she blames Donald Trump for some black women being obese. She says that the racism that Donald Trump causes and his policies are causing black women to eat large amounts of food, and it's changing their body composition, make them heavier. Let's jump into the video.
When people talk about black women being obese, I hate it because it becomes a way to blame us for a set of conditions that we didn't create. We are living in the Trump era. And look, those policies kill our people. And what public health practitioners think is that our stress responses in the body change our metabolism. It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
Donald Trump is with you when you go out to eat. He goes shopping for the food that you eat. He's feeding you with a spoon. That's Donald Trump's fault. The only thing that I'll say to defend this is this. Stop blaming Donald Trump, because Donald Trump brought in RFK because the food is so unhealthy that you're eating. It's causing people, every race of people, to be more obese, whether they're young, old, black, white, whatever you are. So Trump is actually trying to help you by bringing RFK in to take all the garbage out of the food, to make the corporations responsible to put natural ingredients in your food. For this woman to get on TV and blame Donald Trump for obese black women, it just shows you how far the Democratic Party has come. To be a Democrat, you have to be a lunatic. You have to hate America. You have to take zero accountability for anything that you do. That's what being a Democrat is in 2025. A new trend on social media, now being a white supremacist, and white supremacy is being on time. Let's let her tell you herself. Let's listen to this genius.
Being on time is white supremacy, because what are they always on time to do? Oppress. I'm always going to be 10 to 15 minutes late because that's the correct time, according to my people.
And that's why you'll be unemployed the rest of your life. This garbage is insufferable. This attitude is just exhausting. It's just disgusting. And I've heard stories where jobs give presentations saying that certain cultures being late is part of their culture and that being on time is white supremacy. So even though she sounds absolutely ridiculous, the corporate world is actually teaching this garbage, this woke garbage, to their employees. And that's why she will be unemployed the rest of her life. Keep up the great work, Democrats. You are building lovely, fine citizens. You are filling their minds with thoughts to make them ultra successful. Keep up the great work.